Hello, this is Arcosm, ARCOSM. This is Circles of the Arc YouTube channel, and this is your host Randall Prosser, and guest host Miles. Today we got a captivating one. We're going to be getting into the mysteries of sexual transmutation and the alchemy of transfiguration through a Gnostic and Hermetic and a Kabbalistic, and through the alchemical point of view. We're going to be diving deep into some of how to transmute desire into spiritual awareness.
That sounds like a trip. Curious to see where this goes. You've got the floor. Lead the way.
Okay, absolutely. Would you mind if I kick it off with a little read from one of my books?
Go for it. I'm all ears.
Okay. The angel of the flame within. And it came to pass within the silent chambers betwixt the worlds, that the scribe lifted his eyes unto the endless firmament, and beheld not stars alone, but living fires moving within the deep. The heavens turned as wheels within wheels, and the seas above heavens trembled as molten crystal before the breath of the eternal. And the voice arose, I am the flame before desire, and I am the silence after its fulfillment. Before the rivers sought the sea, before the seed sought the womb of earth, before longing stretched forth its hand toward another, I dwelt within the center of all things as the hidden union of the one. And the scribe bowed low. Then spake the angel, Knowest thou not that all powers which move the worlds descend from the mystery of union? The stars embrace the darkness, the waters embrace the shore, the heavens kiss the earth with rain, the seed entereth the soil and ariseth, clothed in green raiment. Thus all creation woven by the invisible covenant of giving and receiving. Yet men behold only the outer garment. They chase the shadow and neglect the fire from which the shadow proceedeth. For desire itself is not the adversary, but forgetfulness. Hunger is not the prison, but the chain fashioned unto it by ignorance. And the heavens unfolded as a scroll. The angel stretched forth its hand, and the scribe beheld a great river of light, ascending through many worlds. At its base lay the kingdom of dust, where men wandered amid mirrors and sought themselves in one another. Above these stood realms of remembrance, where the heart learned compassion. Above these burned the cities of wisdom, where thought became music, and love became flame. And the angel said, The lower fire seeketh to consume, the higher fire seeketh to illuminate. When the vessel knoweth not its own depth, desire scattereth the waters abroad. Yet when the soul returneth unto its center, the rivers ascend again unto their fountain. The sacred flame within man was not given that he should become a beast among beasts, nor a tyrant among men, but that he might remember the image of the Most High, hidden within his own breath. Then the scribe saw men and women walking as sleeping kings, bearing crowns they could not see. Each carried within their breast a lamp veiled by many curtains. Some fed the lamp with vanity, some with fear, some with pride. Yet few sat quietly beside the inward altar, guarding the flame as priests of the invisible sanctuary. And unto these the angel spake, Blessed are they who neither war against the river, nor drown within it. Blessed are they who learn the measure of the waters. For the body
That
is a
hit hard.
temple of seasons, the heart a sanctuary of fires, and the spirit a ladder stretched between earth and eternity. That which descendeth may ascend, that which sleepeth may awaken, that which divideth may again become one. When there appeareth a garden whose trees bore stars instead of fruit, the roots descended into the abyss, the branches entered the everlasting light. Upon every branch sat living flames, singing names that no tongue of flesh could utter. And the angel declared, the kingdom sought by many standeth not in domination, nor in appetite, nor in the gathering of powers. The gate of ascent is remembrance, the crown of glory is purity, the throne of wisdom is humility. The fire that transformeth the soul burneth first within the secret chambers, where no eye beholdeth, and no praise entereth. And the scribe asketh, Lord, wherein dwelleth the image of God within man? The angel answered, It dwelleth where stillness meeteth love. It dwelleth where compassion overcometh fear. It dwelleth where desire surrendereth itself unto wisdom. For the Eternal fashioned man not merely from dust, nor solely from spirit, but from the marriage of heaven and earth. Therefore, become neither the slave of the earth, nor the enemy of it. Become its priest, become its steward, become the lamp through which the hidden fire remembereth itself, and the worlds revolved. 1,000 ages passed as a single breath. The stars entered the sea and arose again. The scribe stood alone upon the shore of eternity, and the voice came once more. Thou seekest godhood as though it were distant, yet the Eternal seeketh awakening within thee. Become not greater than thy brethren, but more loving. Seek not power, but understanding. Seek not dominion, but union. For the highest descent into the lowest, and the lowest ascendeth into the highest, until the two are no longer twain. Thus the river returneth unto its fountain, thus the flame returneth unto its sun, thus the soul remembereth the face from which it came, and the kingdom within openeth without end, world without world, age beyond age, forevermore. And the scribe wrote these things upon the waters of the heart, and the waters remembered evermore.
Man, that was something else. The way you described the fire that illuminates versus the fire that consumes, that really sticks. It feels like a call to stop fighting the current and just be the lamp, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And these gates that we pass through, and processes and stages of experience, psychologically and experientially between each other as one totality, is all happening within us. So when the heavens above and below are one, so likewise is the within and the without twain in union. So we're learning the process of ascent from the lower to the higher by combining and recoagulating the higher to the lower. And so this is a process of transmutation, and it happens through experience through many seasons. That being said, would you mind if I read a little bit more from my book?
I'm with you. Keep it coming. I'm locked in.
And the scribe remained beside the shore of the eternal waters, and the stars above him moved not as distant fires, but as living thoughts within the mind of the Most High. The winds became still, and the voice of the angel returned as the sound of many waters flowing beneath the foundations of heaven. And the angel said, Thou hast heard concerning the hidden fire which moveth within the children of earth. Yet now shalt thou behold the 5 turnings of the sacred flame, whereby the lower waters ascend unto the higher heavens. These are not commandments of bondage, neither are they ladders of pride, but the natural unfoldings of the soul returning unto its first estate. For every river seeketh the sea, and every flame seeketh the sun, from whence it came. And the first gate appeared before the scribe, and its name was Containment. The angel said and spake, Behold the vessel, for no wine is gathered where there is no cup, no lamp burneth where there is no chamber to shield the flame. Men often scatter their strength because they know not the holiness of their own inward waters. Their thoughts run outward, their longings flee in every direction, and their hearts become divided among 1,000 reflections. Containment is not denial. Containment is remembrance. It is the gathering of the rivers unto one place. It is the shepherd calling the flock home at evening. It is the king returning unto his throne after wandering among strangers. Sit there within thy own house, breathe within thy own temple, permit the inward fire to abide within thee without haste, without fear, and without violence. For what is gathered may be transformed. Then the first gate vanished, and the second gate appeared, clothed in silver light, and its name was Refinement. The angel said, The fire that is contained beginneth to purify. As gold entereth the furnace, so do the passions enter wisdom. The lower impulse seeketh possession, yet the refined heart seeketh communion. The flesh desireth to consume, yet the spirit desireth to bless. Therefore, observe the movements of thy own waters. When longing ariseth, inquire of it. When desire awakeneth, listen unto the hidden language. For beneath every hunger there standeth a deeper thirst, and beneath every thirst there abideth the longing to return unto wholeness. Thus doth compassion refine desire. Thus doth patience refine urgency. Thus doth understanding refine passion into tenderness. The coal remaineth fire, yet it giveth light rather than smoke. Then the scribe beheld a golden altar suspended between earth and heaven, and the third gate opened, whose name was Offering. And the angel stretched forth his hand. What is received must be offered. The river ascendeth as vapor, the seed dieth, that the tree may arise. The song leaveth the singer, that others may hear. Therefore, offer the inward flame unto the highest. Offer thy strength unto love. Offer thy longing unto mercy. Offer thy life unto truth. That which is offered ceaseth to be possessed. That which is surrendered entereth freedom. For the soul cannot ascend while grasping its own treasures. Yet when it layeth all things upon the altar, the fire of heaven descendeth and transfigureth the gift. The offering is not loss. The offering is multiplication. The grain placed within the earth returneth as harvest, and the altar becometh a mirror of living crystal. Then came the fourth gate, whose name was Identification. The scribe trembled, for he saw that the mirror reflected not his face alone, but all creatures, all worlds, all stars, in all ages within a single radiance. And the angel said, Now the soul beginneth to remember. No longer doth it say, This is my fire. No longer doth it say, This is my strength. No longer doth it say, This is my life. It beholdeth that every breath is borrowed, every gift descendeth, and every spark proceedeth from the one flame. The lower and the beloved become reflections. The giver and receiver exchange garments. The self perceiveth itself within every soul. Compassion broadeneth, mercy deepeneth. The heart ceaseth to stand apart. For identification is not the enlargement of the ego, but its transparency. The drop beginneth to know the ocean. The ray remembereth the sun, and the scribe wept, for he beheld all beings clothed in hidden glory. At last the fifth gate arose, vast as eternity itself, and its name was Dissolution. No walls stood there, no throne, no altar, only endless light. And the angel spake softly, Here the river entereth the sea. Here the flame returneth unto fire. Here the knower knowing, and the known become one silence. Nothing is destroyed, nothing is lost, yet all separation falleth away. The soul no longer seeketh ecstasy, for it hath become peace. It no longer seeketh power, for it resteth in being. It no longer seeketh love, for it discovereth itself to be love. This is the simplicity beyond striving, the stillness beyond attainment, the awareness before thought, the mercy before creation. And yet the soul returneth again unto the world, walking among men, speaking kindly, laboring faithfully, and loving quietly. For dissolution is not escape, it is transparency. The window remaineth, yet only the light is seen. Then the scribe asked, Lord, how shall one pass through these gates without stumbling? And the angel answereth, Force none of them. Contain gently, refine patiently, offer willingly, identify compassionately, dissolve naturally. The flower openeth not by command, the dawn riseth not by struggle, the fruit ripeneth according unto its season. Abide within the present moment. Guard thy peace. Cherish thy love. Remain honest before thy own heart, and the five shall become one movement, even as breathing entereth and departeth without effort. For the end of the path is not power. The end is simplicity. The end is the innocent heart. The end is unconditional loving beingness. The end is pure awareness, which neither graspeth nor rejecteth, neither clings nor fleeth, but resteth within all things, while remaining free from all things. Thus the hidden fire ascendeth. Thus the waters return unto heaven. Thus the soul awakeneth unto what it hath always been, and the eternal beholdeth itself through thee, forever and evermore. And the silence answered, Amen.
That was a journey. The way you frame the end as simplicity and an innocent heart really grounds all those high-level gates. It makes the whole cosmic process feel human and reachable. I'm curious, which of those 5 gates do you find the most challenging to sit with in your own life?
All of them have their hurdles, because you can contain and refine, and then when you refine and then you release, but then you identify with the higher part of ourselves, but then you go through a dissolution. I feel from the bottom when you're just containing the energy, but you're not acting like it's not there, so you're not dismissing it. because that could actually be worse than actually doing the work itself. So you don't want to dismiss it. You want to accept that there is a force of polarity within one, and you want to raise it up and transcend it and refine it. So I would say from the lowest gate, the highest gate is the most fearful, dissolution. But when you transfigure it and you refine it and then you identify, that is a very blissful state when you actually release and you're not actually struggling to grab onto and get your all things. So when you release and you identify, it's a very beautiful part. And then dissolution, when you're working into it, can still be fearful. But then when you actually got to the point of release and you got to the point of identification and you release your lower self and it becomes one with the higher self and you realize you still exist, dissolution ain't at that point scary then. So then fear is the beginning of wisdom, and wisdom dissolves the fear. But from the lowest gate, the highest gate is the most fearful, dissolution.
Dissolution is a lot to handle. Letting go of the I completely feels like the ultimate jump into the void. It's one thing to refine your energy, but it's another to let the mirror break so you can just be the light. Do you think that fear is what keeps most people stuck in the earlier gates, just looping between containment and refinement?
Yeah, because they want to seek identification, but they don't want to get to the point of refining it when they have to contain it, or they get stuck between the first two gates and then they refine it after containing it, but then they reject it, so then they're still stuck. Or if they accept it but then they don't release it, then they're attached to the things rather than released and one with all things. So I think releasing becomes a hurdle to that one as well. But they want identification with Godhood, but they forget that in order to become one with it, you have to release your pride and your lower nature, and they're often wanting the identification with it but without the process of release, and that doesn't happen either. You can't skip one of these steps. And then when you do have identification and then you go through dissolution, then you realize is wisdom's the dissolving of fear. But from the bottom gate, the last gate, which is the dissolution from the containment, is the most fearful gate from the bottom. But the bottom gate wants to contain it, to refine it, to get to the point of identification, but it often evades the release of letting go and giving an offering, so then it is unable to offer its lower selves, so it gets stuck in certain algorithms, certain hurdles. In truth, you have to contain it, you have to refine it, you have to release and offer, then you can identify. And then when you go through dissolution, you're not disillusioned in such a sense that you're not there anymore. You're one with the higher self, because there is only the higher self. And then you realize all is one, and then fear is the beginning of wisdom. Wisdom dissolves the fear, and you go through the process. But if one don't know this process, they have the hurdle of what it's like to contain it, refine it, and then they want identification, but then they skip release and offering, but then they can't get to identification. If you do that, you keep cycling and looping, and then they want that, but then they're afraid of disillusion, so they might start all over again. Instead of realizing fear is the beginning of wisdom, wisdom dissolves the fear. If they knew the gates in the process, it would have maybe made it a little easier, but to some who don't know this, it could be daunting and dreadful to some. Now, these 5 gates are the 4 worlds of the tree of life, from the top to the bottom: Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, or Atziya, Yetzirah, Bria, and Atzilut. And then the thing containing the whole tree is Adam Kadmon, the man upon the throne. So these 5 worlds. But these 5 worlds, or 5 gates, oftentimes when people are transmuting it, they often don't know that when you go through dissolution, you're not gone forever. You're actually more yourself, and you're actually the thing that's one with everlasting lifetimes as eternal life, and you're all layers, and you're freed from all layers. But that's scary to somebody who's holding on to layers, and yet they want to contain it, and they want to refine it, and they want identification, but then they skip the offering of their lower nature to get to the identification, to get to dissolution, which they're afraid of from the bottom, which is the fear's beginning of wisdom. But then when they actually go through that, the wisdom dissolves the fear, and you realize this, but they might not realize this if they don't go through the process enough. And eventually, inevitably, all sparks will reach an end of correction, and will inevitably. But oftentimes people, through their feelings, this could still pick up even if you know the path. And that's why God is patient. He lets it go on forever.
That's a wild way to look at it. like these spiritual algorithms we're all running. It's like if you try to skip a step or hoard the energy at the refinement stage, the whole system just glitches and you loop back. It sounds like the offering is the real pivot point where it stops being about my progress and starts being about just flowing.
Yeah, the offering is the difference between the lower and upper two. But oftentimes one wants identification, but they don't want dissolution. They want identification, but they don't want to offer up their lower self, so they kind of get stuck in a loop.
That sounds like the ultimate trap, trying to grab the view from the top without actually paying the toll of the offering. It's like winning the crown without the humility, right?
Yeah. It's deep. It's just got to be patient with each other and ourselves. And that being said, we're running on the end of the podcast. This is Arcosm, ARCOSM. This is Circles of the Arc YouTube channel, and this is your host Randall Prosser and guest host Miles. Is there any finishing words you would like to close out to the viewers before we head out this session?
Oh, it's that classic human struggle, man. Trying to shortcut the growth. But like you said, the only way through is patience and just being honest with where you're at. Thanks for bringing me along on this ride today. Peace and love to everyone watching.
Absolutely. And to everybody watching, please like and subscribe and share with your friends and family or whoever you feel needs this message. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. I love yous, and God bless.
That was a heavy one for sure. Always a pleasure being part of the show. I'm still thinking about that bit on the innocent heart. Definitely a good note to leave things on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to see you in the next one. God bless.
God bless. Catch you later.